Welcome to episode 2 of Safe Home, for struggling teens and their families finding their healing path.
I am Joey, a teen recovering from substance use, suicidal ideation, depression, and anxiety.
And I'm Joey's mom, Beth, and I am walking beside him as he works hard for his recovery while I work hard on my own personal growth and healing.
We have created this podcast to transform the pain we have endured over the last several years into helping other troubled teens and their loved ones. We want to share what we've learned, what we've seen, what has worked, and what hasn't. We are not experts in anything except our own stories, and we encourage you to seek out professional help if you are struggling. We have a list of resources in the description.
Please note that this episode contains some swear words, descriptions of drug use, and mentions of suicide attempts, and may not be appropriate for sensitive listeners or younger children.
We want to make sure everyone knows that this podcast is not glorifying or endorsing illegal activity or substance use. This podcast is for educational, prevention, mitigation, and harm reduction purposes.
We are in the middle of a series where each episode we're talking about a different drug or a drug class. In episode 2, we started with cough medicine and other over-the-counter medicines that kids are abusing. In episode 3, we talked about cannabis and vaping. In episode 4, we talked about nicotine and more vaping. And episode 5, what we're in right now, we are going to delve into the very large topic of psychedelics, something which Joey knows a great deal about. So, Joey, why don't you just start by naming all the different kinds of psychedelics that are out there right now for people to use?
Okay, so mushrooms, which have psilocybin in them. So that's the active compound which gets you high, is the psilocybin. LSD, which is lysergic acid diethylamide. That's the active chemical that's getting you high. There's peyote. That's a cactus, and that has mescaline in it. There's DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which that's the psychoactive compound in it. Ayahuasca, which is DMT.
Yeah. DMT is an extract from the ayahuasca plant? Or is ayahuasca a brew, huh?
Ayahuasca is a brew, and it contains DMT in it.
Oh.
That's what ayahuasca is known for. Like, that's why it gives you that experience. Okay. It's because it's DMT.
Okay, so ayahuasca is the brew. DMT is the chemical compound from whatever plant it derives from. And then, yes, but people put it into a little, we'll find out how they deliver it to you, but you're not taking it as a brew.
Yes, you are.
And DMT you are?
Oh, well, ayahuasca
you take as a brew.
Yeah.
And DMT you take not as a brew. They just have extracted that substance, the active substance.
Yeah. There's other compounds out there which are psychedelics, which are more dangerous. So, like N-bomb, which is like, it's a chemical. It's not called N-bomb, but it's what people lace LSD with, and it is way more potent than normal LSD, and it kills you. It gives you like a heart attack.
Oh my God, that's terrible. And how do you spell this?
N-bomb.
Oh, N like hyphen B-O-M-B, N-bomb. Oh, great. Okay, that sounds terrible. Okay, so we probably will go into all the different methods of taking it, but first I want to just talk about why do people take psychedelics? I had no idea kids would be using this stuff. I thought it's what hippies used, and it kind of was passé. But and I know that it's being used for therapeutic purposes, which I'm very excited about. I'm kind of mixed about psychedelics because I've read quite a bit about therapeutic psychedelics, the therapeutic use of psychedelics, and I have very great hopes for that, for helping people with addictions and depression, anxiety, and PTSD. But they almost killed you many times. So
yeah, because I wasn't using it
in a therapeutic way, right? So we're going to educate people about, these are dangerous or potent, not dangerous necessarily, but potentially dangerous.
Potentially dangerous substances, which without knowledge of and without care, you can very much destroy your mental side of your brain and body and stuff.
And done with care and under certain circumstances with the expert,
can very much heal it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very powerful. So why do people use them? What's the benefit of using psychedelics?
Well, for people that are doing it therapeutically, it can show you, it can open your eyes to the traumas that you've been through, and it allows you to revisit them and experience them again, so you can process it again in a different state of mind than you were then.
Okay.
So that's how I see it. When the last time I did it therapeutically, that's what I did. I re-experienced a traumatic experience, and I taught myself, or used my brain is aged more, and I used my experiences that I've gone through in past trips to re-understand my traumas now.
Okay. And for those that have never used psychedelics or have been around this world, what is a trip?
A trip is, you have to have experienced psychedelics to understand that word, because it's like a trip. Another analogy is like going to war. If you're not doing it therapeutically, it's like you're going into this intense 12-hour trip that can show you dark things, maybe very dark things, but also can show you really good things, maybe funny things. But it's a trip because you're traveling through your consciousness, your psyche, and it's bringing it to your reality.
I've heard it sometimes called a journey.
Yes, a journey is probably the best way to call it, like a psychedelic journey, is because most people don't understand this, but with psychedelics like LSD and mushrooms, you actually can experience DMT-like visions. Because when you close your eyes, because a lot of people, when they're tripping on psychedelics, they're just up and around using it recreationally.
Oh, right. At a party or a concert or something.
They're getting they're bringing it to their reality instead of traveling to the true reality, which is in their conscious.
Okay. So the trip, ideally, if done in a therapeutic or a ceremonial kind of sense, you go somewhere else.
Yes.
But a lot of people socially, they bring the trip to them where they're at and kind of enhance whatever they're experiencing.
Exactly. It open what the chemicals usually do is in neuroscience and stuff, they show that your brain is more active in certain spots. So then that's what's happening, is you're perceiving things a little more enhanced, like light, touch. All your senses are going to be enhanced when you're under the influence.
I've seen, anytime you see psychedelic artwork or imagery or videos, it's always like that kind of a kaleidoscopic, very, very colorful. Is that what you see in your eyes when you're on a journey?
Yes, that's the perception of it in this reality. But when you're under the influence, it feels so real that it's almost comfortable. It's very not comfortable, but it's familiar. It's very familiar. It's like going home.
Oh.
It's like going home. And when you see those visions, it's not like you're seeing it from a first person point of view. If you do reach a point, you do see it from the all knowing point of view. That's if you really journey, and then you get to a point where you can understand that you're not the center of the universe. Right.
That's what a lot of songs in the 60s were about, right? About we're all one, and peace, love.
That's the idea you get when under the influence of that. But it really is true that we are all one within this universe, because we did come from one small plasma ball that exploded into millions of billions of unlimited space. We all came from one point. And that's what I've seen in my experiences. But it's a traumatic thing, going back to what you first were saying. It's not something everyone should do. So why someone does this is to escape from reality.
Yeah. So kind of the same thing. And by the way, cannabis is a psychedelic or psychoactive.
It's psychedelic.
It is psychedelic. Okay, so cannabis is considered a psychedelic. And so we were talking in that episode about how people just want to escape whatever the pain they're in.
Yes.
Take me somewhere else.
And with psychedelics, a more potent psychedelic compared to cannabis. So you're actually changing your reality. So it's more, it could be more comfortable or 10 times more terrifying.
Yeah.
That's what a quote unquote bad trip is your trauma being brought to the forefront.
Yeah, and if you don't have a guide there with you or somebody protecting you or keeping you safe,
that's when you jump off buildings and walk in front of trains and stuff. I've experienced that like firsthand with one of my friends being hospitalized.
Really? What happened?
Well, I had a sheet of acid. I was selling it, and I took it all to myself and gave one tab to my friend. And he just one or four, I believe. He asked for, I don't remember, 1 or 4 tabs, and tabs is acid. It comes on a little paper tab. He lost himself completely. We had to call the cops. He tried to kill me. Yeah, he.
Oh my God.
We tried to incapacitate him, but he wouldn't go down. So
he overpowered you because
we had 3 people. It was like a party or something. It was just a little kickback, but
it doesn't sound very kickback.
It was not a kickback. It was very terrifying. He was screaming at the top of his lungs. We woke up the whole neighborhood. We had to call 911. Nothing bad happened. He woke up the next day and said, "What the heck happened?"
Wow, that's terrifying. Absolutely. And so you took way more than he did.
I took like 20.
And he took 1
or 4.
1 or 4. And then, but was it his first time taking it? No, just all of a sudden, just that one trip was.
The first time, it was a low dose. It was a lower dose. I was with him the first time he took it.
Oh, okay.
But then, I really don't know what was happening in his mind, but he lost himself to a point where he didn't know what reality was.
Wow. So if you didn't have a couple other people there with you,
I could have died. He was bigger than me, and he was saying like, "Don't kill me," because in that state of mind, you're in your reptilian brain, so it's essentially survival. So I was trying to just calm him down, and he was feeling a lot of distress. And I don't know what was really going on. I can't tell you what was going on through his head, but it was just scared, I think.
And the next morning he woke up and remembered how much of that?
Like 0. He said he was like in this fractal world but he was up and around. It's like a blackout.
So he looked like he was walking around and could think normally, but
no, he was not thinking.
Oh, you could tell he was not thinking normally because he was screaming and.
Yeah, he was very much in a bad trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds. So we found out the reasons that it's dangerous to use these drugs.
Yeah.
Holy cow! And how reliable is the drugs that you get?
You can die instantly from street drugs like that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it can be laced with anything.
You have no idea what you're getting.
Unless you test kit it.
Oh, okay.
You can get a test kit that like has a compound which actually shows if it's pure acid.
Oh, okay.
Or lysergic acid diethylamide.
The LSD.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to get the drug not from the street, is there anywhere you can get it?
It's a Schedule 1.
So you can't get it at this point. So super dangerous because anytime you get one of these substances, you have no idea what you're getting.
You don't know what you're getting.
What about if you go to Peru and take a brew of ayahuasca?
You still don't know what you're getting, but if you watch them cut the root and then they boil it in front of you, then you're like, oh, okay, it's natural.
Okay, so that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. But the street drugs and the little, on those little papers, what do you call those? Tabs.
Yeah.
Are they like those little candies, the dots candies that they used to be?
No, not like that. You know blotter paper?
Blotter paper.
That's what that is.
Is that what they call it? Or is that
that's
thing?
what, do you not know what blotter paper is?
What is that for?
It's like those artwork papers that like have all those like little like cutouts so you can like take like 1,000 or like about 1,000 little squares off.
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, it's like that.
That's what like acid comes on.
And it comes in a little tiny circular
Square.
square. Okay,
Yeah.
and you put it on your tongue.
Yes.
Okay, so this is LSD.
This is LSD. Yes.
And that's the only one that comes like that.
You can actually get I think mescaline and psilocybin, because you can take psilocybin out of a mushroom and like concentrate it,
Oh,
and you
okay,
can
and put it
concentrate
on it.
mescaline, you can concentrate DMT, so you can put anything. I think DMT you have to activate,
Okay.
but LSD's peyote and mescaline and LSD, and those all are activated orally
Oh, okay, so once it gets into your spit, it gets
or into your bloodstream.
into your
It's-
bloodstream. Okay,
yeah.
then you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And so mushrooms, how do you use mushrooms?
You just eat them,
You just eat them.
or put them in a tea. Eat them, put them in a tea. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't. People think you can smoke LSD. You can't.
Okay, we don't
because
smoke that. Okay.
no, because you can smoke PCP. That's
Oh.
what they have on the cigarettes.
That's not a psychedelic though?
No, that's disassociative. I think
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's like borderline dissociative psychedelic.
Okay, it's kind of middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How do you use DMT? How does that come?
Well, the street way of using it. Okay. You vaporize it.
Okay, so you heat it up somehow in some sort of vaporizer.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could use it in a vape pen.
Yes, you can.
Which I
they
guess-
actually sell those. It is cartridge, like DMT vape cartridges.
Okay. And I don't know if you know this, but every single medical and addiction specialist I've told about DMT
Have no idea.
have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's one of, it's like literally the most potent drug ever.
Tell us how it compares to LSD.
You black out completely and transform your realities.
And it's quick, right? It's like a
15 minutes, but you can be in there for years.
right. So in Earth time, you're
Time distortion is very, very prevalent with DMT.
so it's a super strong hit that lasts a short time.
Yes.
And LSD is a medium strong.
It depends
Depends on how much you take. But
and
it can
how
last.
sensitive.
How long does LSD last?
Usually 12 hours.
12 hours. So you better clear your calendar, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Lordy. And it would make you like up all night, I suppose.
You can't sleep on psychedelics.
You can't sleep.
No.
Okay. It wouldn't allow you to sleep. Wow. All right. And I bet people do a lot of strange and unusual and unpredictable things besides like dangerous things, but they,
Yeah, no, because your sensations are different, and you're feeling different things in your body. It's affecting your nervous system, your mind, and it's really affecting your whole body, which most drugs do, but it is different. And psychedelics are different from like heroin, like opiates and benzos. They're completely different. That's why they have potential for research and healing, because they're not something that completely just numbs you out.
it doesn't numb you. It makes you more alive, really,
Yeah,
but in a different reality.
Yes, that's not only it shows you what this reality truly is, and the different realities there are.
Okay. And that's kind of where you had mental health issues.
Yes.
Why don't you go into that a
I'll
bit?
go into that right now. Is the fact that I realized that all is one, and there's no such thing as death. Like, that's what I believe. That's what it showed me. I wasn't afraid of death anymore. So I could shoot myself, and just in my mind, I was gonna just relive my life.
Uh-huh.
And
back around again.
come back around. It's just a very scary thought to not be afraid of death at a sensitive age like that, when you're supposed to be afraid of death, and you
Yes.
don't want to die.
Yes.
And it made me so not afraid of death that I attempted death, because I was so interested on what that feeling would be like. And that's where those realities can take you to a point in this reality that may be very dangerous for you.
Mm-hmm. Are you willing to tell us about your suicide attempts or no?
Yeah,
We're going to be talking about some pretty explicit suicidal attempts. So if you're sensitive or if this is triggering for you, you might want to fast forward a ways or just skip this episode.
Yes. My first attempt was actually trying to hang myself. I tried to hang myself in my closet. I got to the point where I didn't try and break my neck hang myself. I just tried to suffocate myself. But I had the opportunity to undo the rope. But I got to the point of I was under the influence of some stuff too, but I was feeling a lot of just energy and pain that I realized that I can't do it. So what stopped me from most of my attempts is the pain. Is the pain and that I hate pain. I don't like pain at all. So
that kind of that instinct
savior.
of pain and
Saved
trying
me.
to avoid pain saved your life.
Exactly.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
How many times did you try to hang yourself?
Multiple times, probably like 8 times.
Whoa.
But every time it came to that point of that pain and I just couldn't do it. Yeah. So it's actually good that I have fear of pain because if you don't, I don't know if I would be here.
And the last time is when you told your friend at school that you had just tried that like that morning or something, right? That morning before school. And then you told your friend, who was a very good friend, that took you to the nurse. Yeah. And what did they do there?
I don't remember.
Oh, was that a day or blur?
That day was I just wanted to die that whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was February 7th, 2019. That's the day I got the call from your dad saying that he said, Beth, Joey's okay, but he tried to kill himself. And I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing. I'm like, what? Oh my God. And it came out of nowhere. I didn't know you were doing drugs at all. I thought everything was going fine, just regular old teenage stuff. So that was a rough introduction. And you had some really rough days. You got hospitalized that day. It took a long time, but we got you in the hospital.
I remember that day, actually, I was crying. Just the whole time at that table, I just remember crying. The one you were able to visit.
Oh, when I visit, yeah.
I was just crying.
And you were just saying, I don't want to be here.
I think, I don't even remember. I think I said, like, I don't know what I was saying. I just remember I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I want to be dead. I want to die. Yeah. I was so scared. But a friend of mine who'd worked in the hospital before, a mental hospital, said that's the safest place you could be. And much safer than at my house, where there's all sorts of things you could do yourself in with. I mean, they check. We'll have a whole episode about hospitalizations, but they check the seams of your clothing. I mean, they are pretty thorough about checking to make sure there's no things to hurt yourself or to bring in drugs or whatever. Yeah. So, but your will to live was like zero.
It was at zero, and that was all because of the idea that I was not afraid of death, and I wanted to die. And I wanted that experience. And it wasn't, it probably was underlying depression and trauma, which I believe that's what it is, but that amplified that.
Yeah, because you're in pain from the trauma, and it probably hadn't been addressed yet. Yeah. And so you have this existential pain, identity crisis, people bullying you at school, like life sucks. Yes. And you have these glimpses of beauty. This better world on the other side. And you're like, I want to go there now.
Yes. That's the scariest thing as a parent, I would think.
It was terrifying. It is terrifying. Yeah. It's terrifying.
So that's what can happen once you take psychedelics is the idea that you are going to be shown something that you may not have wanted to be shown. So yeah.
When I found out that you were using psychedelics, I contacted I don't remember. I think we had opened a Caring Bridge page, which kind of let certain people that we let in know what was going on.
Yeah.
And there were many, many people that were concerned about you. So I would share a little bit more on there than to the regular public. But I asked if anyone had any experience with psychedelics, could you please talk to me and tell me what the hell is going on? Because I have no idea. Me that has never even smoked a joint. So luckily, a few of you that might be even listening here, that you were so kind and patient with me and told me what it was like and told me sometimes it's great and sometimes it's horrible. And, you know, it made it not such a black and white kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I found out that there are things called integration circles.
Oh, yeah.
And luckily people were willing to tell me this stuff. They knew you were 15.
Yeah.
And
I was 15.
Yeah. Yeah, you were 15 when this all went down. 15.
Holy.
Yeah, you're 17
shit.
and 3/4 right now, just for everybody to know. You're still not an adult, but
yeah, that's
17
crazy.
and 3/4 seems a lot older than 15.
No, it does. In my mind, I'm like, it felt like yesterday.
I bet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, but I'm grateful for people willing to talk to me about my 15-year-old using psychedelics. They didn't shame us, or they're like, no, here, there were people that did retreats, like ayahuasca kind of retreats, and they were spiritual, the kind that you would go to on a retreat, like a spiritual journey kind of thing. Yeah, like a shaman. Exactly. And they said there's these things called integration circles, and it was kind of underground. They don't like advertise it to everyone because you're talking about psychedelics, and it's sort of illegal it's not illegal to have the circle, but it's illegal to do psychedelics. Yes. So it's sort of a tricky deal. So luckily I found an integration circle. And I took Joey the first time because I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what they're going to do to my kid.
Yeah, they might.
Are they going to bring it out and share it? I don't know.
Yeah, but no, it was a great experience.
It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful experience. And I think I like shocked a lot of people when I walked in there because I was like the youngest
I don't think they
kid.
think about kids using it.
Oh, no, there
are a lot of kids that use it.
Not a lot, but there's a little like
enclave of kids using it.
Yeah,
the more adventurous ones, like
the spiritual ones, the ones that like tarot cards and stuff like that. Okay,
the priestesses and that kind of thing, like
the witches.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yes.
Okay, the ones that are really into the woo.
Yeah. The mind, body, and
yeah,
spirit
that makes sense. That those kids would go toward that.
Yeah. But I personally I wasn't like that the first time I tried it.
You were just like risk taking.
I was risk taking. I was like,
what else do you got?
Because marijuana was in my life for a little bit before that, and I was like, I was researching psychedelics, and I was like, it's more potent. So okay, and it shows you colors. What? I want to see that. So that's what my perception of it was at the time, but I didn't realize it can show you things that like can tear your reality completely apart.
Wow. And who did you get it from the first time? The guy.
I'm not going to disclose that.
Well, obviously, you're probably not going to say their name, but the guy selling you the weed, or
no, completely different.
A whole different person. You had to find somebody else that was using it or selling it.
And that was like one person in the whole school.
Oh, you got this from school?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Oh, the baseball person introduced you to the person that's do the psychedelic. Oh, amazing the things you can learn from school.
Yes, school is not only educational for mathematics, but also for drugs.
Lordy. I had no idea. Oh, it kind of breaks my heart. Just the things you've gone through. Most of the bad stuff you went through all by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Or with someone that was not in the mental state to
help you. Right. So you're dealing with these really huge spiritual issues and opening your eyes to like this, Pandora's box is opened. And
that's how I describe it to most people. I've opened Pandora's box.
Yeah. And you can't get closed now.
You can never close it. No.
Wow. So now you haven't been using it.
No.
And do you feel the craving to go on a trip again, or?
No, because I've learned it's for certain times. It's only for certain times, and you have to be in a good mindset You can't be in a distressed mindset. You can't have had a death in your life. You have to be ready and prepared for something like that, because it's very powerful if you let it. So, and the way I would do it now would be therapeutically, and to understand my own psyche and understand my traumas. I wouldn't use it just to get effed up. I would definitely use it to learn, because that's what it's here for, I think, is to teach people things.
So when you're older, or when it becomes legal, or whatever, however it will work out, hopefully not when you're still so young, but when you're older and wanting to delve deeper into your spirituality, or you have already worked, on certain things to deepen your spirituality, then you can see that you would be able to take it again in a more sensible, healthy, seeking, nurturing way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if I were to do it now, I still wouldn't do it the correct way. I don't think so.
And you're not in a healthy place. You're still in recovery.
I'm still in recovery. I'm still struggling with things. I haven't gotten through all my traumas. Well, the thing is, in a journey, you're going to experience traumas. If that's your intention. Like the last time I went on a journey, not too long ago, but I went into it with a full-on intention about bringing out my traumas.
Okay, and did you have a guide that time?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did have a guide, and it was very, very eye-opening, actually, experience that showed me that it's okay. That's what I learned, that it's okay.
Your life is okay? You're okay?
Like, I'm okay. That's just what those type of things come into your head when you're under the influence. Just those okay. Just a word has so much power behind it when you're under the influence. And that when I hear okay, I'm just like a sense of okay. Peace, harmony. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel better. Yeah, that's when you use it the correct way.
The correct way. And I remember there was one time you said that you just felt so much love.
Oh yeah, that was actually DMT.
Oh, okay. DMT did that?
And it was actually a really low dose, so I didn't black out.
Oh, okay.
I just went into the it was more of like a psilocybin or LSD trip. Yeah, I wasn't unconscious, but I was very much tripping. And then when I came back, the idea of that all is one and one is all is just hit me, and I didn't know how to explain it. All I did was hug everyone in the room. Yeah, right. Because I was like,
so that explains some of the 1960s behavior.
Yes.
All the love-ins and peace, and the dancing and the
sexual stuff.
Yeah,
and I understand sex now, because like I don't know what chemical is released when you're having sex, but that is there's the actual chemical that's released, and it's that same connectiveness that you can have with someone or yourself under the influence of like a psychedelic.
Okay. Well, I can see why people have used these for centuries, millennia.
Yes.
Probably since the beginning of time.
Dinosaurs most likely ate them on accident, and it's made them more open-minded to something. Do you know the stoned ape theory?
No,
Well, that's the theory where like a ape ate a mushroom or like it had a psychedelic and switched it to made it evolve into the frontal lobe.
Oh.
Instead of the primate.
Otherwise, we'd still be
apes
running around. Oh, interesting. So that somebody, I don't know how they would know this, but they think that trip flipped the switch and made the front of our brain grow and develop. Oh, interesting.
It's a very, that's the most basic way of saying it, but like it's a very deep and thought out theory.
Interesting. Were there any other things that happened bad to you? So these are lovely things that happened good, but is there anything else, any other like things bad that you would like to tell people to encourage them not to do it?
I've actually never had a bad trip. But
have you ever done anything dangerous when you're on a trip?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Oh, that's good.
Like, 'cause
like not like that other kid did?
No, I was always in reality when I, like, enough in reality that I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
I was never like, and besides DMT, where you can't do anything when you're on it, you're just blacked out.
Oh, okay. DMT just knocks you out for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You're gone
Yeah.
to this world. And then you come back, and then you're back.
No, it's like, you like are really, you like, because you've just experienced like some insane things, so you don't know how to speak for a little bit.
Oh, kind of hungover, kind of.
Not, it's like a clean hangover. It's like a really like, no, it's like the opposite of a hangover. It's like intense, like you were just born.
Oh.
Because you essentially are just born into this reality again.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to stop? Because that you noticed how dangerous it was?
The effect on my mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not saying I would never do it again, because I do understand that there is potential for growth by using those substances. Like I always should say, in a safe and therapeutic manner.
And I have concerns because your brain is still forming till you're 25, and you know, I don't know. I doubt that you'll wait till you're 25, but I wish you would.
I probably won't, being honest, but I don't know. With this, in this paradigm that I'm in right now, it feels like I don't need him.
Okay, so now you feel like you can live now in this world.
Yeah,
and you're
I'm
okay.
very grounded.
Okay.
Very grounded.
I don't know if you remember, because I was telling you this when you were in the hospital, but I have tried holotropic breathwork.
Yeah.
Which was developed around the same time as LSD coming out.
And EMDR, do you know what EMDR is?
Yeah, EMDR
I think you
is
told me about
also
that.
similar. They EMDR and holotropic breathwork access kind of the subconscious part of your brain.
Yes.
Similarly to psychedelics, I guess.
Similar.
But it, I went on kind of a trip. I saw things that I
Were they
would
vivid?
never. Yeah.
Very
I was
vivid.
flying over the forest. I went through this really dark part, and then it came out, and then I saw you. We were kind of floating like angels or something. I don't know. None of it really makes sense, but
yeah, but it was powerful to you, and it was different for you, right? It was your first time experience something that I don't know how to explain what you felt, but like I know what you mean.
it helped me understand your trips, and it gave me hope that there's a way. Holotropic breathwork, all you do is breathe really kind of fast, kind of hyperventilate yourself, and the way I've tried it is really loud music that kind of takes you on a journey. Kind of starts at a certain tempo and then it ramps up, and it was really pretty incredible. I've done it a couple of times.
Wow. I actually would like to know more about this.
Yeah,
and
maybe you
not
and I can
experience it because it may
it might be too scary.
Trigger me.
I'll put the holotropic breathwork that I've used, I'll put it in the notes of our episode. And if anyone wants to look into it, it literally just uses your breath and your mind. There's no substances involved.
That's beautiful because your mind is so powerful, and it can show you things that you didn't know you had in you. So yeah.
There was when you and I were floating around, I was chasing you, like I often have been chasing you. And your back was to me. You were going away from me. And you turned back and said, I don't want you to catch me. I want you to follow me. And I'm still not exactly sure what that means, but I think that this might be what this means. That I'm not trying to grab you and bring you back
to somewhere. You're supposed to come with me.
I'm coming with you on your journey. So standing with you side by side, right? Walking with you.
That's very, very deep in.
It was. I was. Whew. Luckily, they had after the session, and this was all on Zoom or on the phone.
What is this before COVID or after COVID? This had to be before COVID.
I think it was before COVID. It was with people around the world at the same time.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was really awesome.
You did this at home?
Yeah. You could do it out in. They used to do it in retreats, kind of things. This must have been during COVID, because then all of a sudden now there's all these big ones with people around the world. There was like 3,000 people doing it
Whoa.
together. But you used to go in a room, you'd lay down, and you'd hear everybody else breathing and all that. So I kind of liked it being by myself.
I mean, I think I like if I were to do it, I think I would like the group, because then you're all like, your energies are all
I
there.
bet your energy would blend.
Yeah.
Afterwards, though, they had kind of an integration session.
Okay, that's good, because
where you
after
could share.
something like that, I would definitely be either traumatized or very wary of what I just witnessed, you know?
I was really blown away. It made me feel good that you were there, and that you gave me a very strong directive. It made me feel like, okay, somebody somewhere knows what's going on and is helping me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gave me a lot of peace. It's still sort of a puzzle. I don't want you to catch me. I want you to follow me.
Yeah, wow.
So it might be something that will make itself more clear as we go along. But
Yeah.
anyway, I've also noticed things like even these immersive art things, like there's a Van Gogh exhibit in town. I wonder if it is sort of related to this psychedelic experience where you get immersed in this colorful
It could be.
lights
But
and
a lot of artists I know and people in that industry they understand that side of reality, so that's why they bring it to this reality.
and they understand it because they've used psychedelics a lot. Yeah,
Psychedelics.
I bet a lot of artwork has been made in
Yes,
while on
actually,
psychedelics.
there's this. I don't know, but there's this one painting that I saw in a museum when I was on it. I saw like a whole nother painting in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was like you could see what the artist truly intended.
Oh wow.
Because when you're I've actually painted and stuff on psychedelics, and it comes out completely different than you thought when you're like sober.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really interesting.
The mind is amazing, really. Aside from it killing you almost, you have to kind of marvel at
Yes,
at
how it
what
can
your
change.
mind can do.
With the potential of your brain. I do believe that. I don't believe that we only use 10% of our brain. I think that's a myth. Because I think maybe not 10%, but maybe like 98% of it I think we're using, because there's still parts that are developing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with full amplification with that psychedelic, it's truly something to marvel at, what we can experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know that in the past, at different times, you've wanted to go study therapeutic uses of psychedelics and study the science of it.
I want to study neuroscience still about the chemicals. The thing is, when you go to that deep atomic level of like compounds and stuff, you start getting into quantum, and that also kind of is a psychedelic thing on its own.
Quantum physics.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can kind of take you down a rabbit trail.
And then make you think, not even taking it, but if you just research quantum, you can very much get into that psychedelic realm.
Okay.
That things are not really what they seem.
Yeah, the Matrix again.
Exactly.
So it always makes me a little nervous when you say you want to go study that, but I know that there's a lot of really good research being done, and it probably would be a little dangerous to live your whole life thinking about psychedelics.
I mean, at this point, I don't think right now in my head, I feel like I wouldn't just do it just so I can have access to the drug. I would actually research it, because at this point in my life, after having all those experiences, I just want to understand it better in this reality. I don't want to be in that reality to experience it, because that reality, one, doesn't really come back to me anymore because how much I've used it.
Oh, do you lose sensitivity to it?
Some people do, some people don't. It's weird.
Huh.
Yeah. But some people actually get stuck in the trip forever.
Oh, it can make you crazy.
Yeah. It permanently puts you into psychosis.
And you don't know why, or maybe you've done it a million times and then you take it another time and then
in your mind,
you're gone.
You didn't know you took a drug, and you're now.
You think it's now, oh, what if we're all on a trip?
No, like
This is where you start.
this is the quantum physics, and then the theory that nothing's real.
Okay.
The simulation.
Okay, this is freaking me out a little bit. Okay, so it's really scary.
Yes, and I really don't want you to open that door because it could lead you down some the same path I was, you know.
Yeah, I can see that. And I wonder how many kind of sudden suicides have happened because of psychedelics that you don't even know.
Probably a lot, and they're not documented because, you can tell if get out of your system in your hair for a little while.
So if you did
the
an
autopsy would have that, but I don't think that would be documented.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, because sometimes people say, my son or whoever killed themselves and there was nothing wrong and they weren't sad about anything. But is it possible to OD and die on psychedelics?
No, like N-bomb.
Oh, on N-bomb, that new synthetic
LSD, yeah.
LSD.
That's really the scariest and most beautiful thought at the same time, to die on a psychedelic.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't know that you're dying. So
yeah, it's like quicksand. Like you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and then you can't get out, and then wow. So, and there's always a chance that whatever you're taking can be laced with something that could kill you.
Except for mushrooms.
Oh yeah, if you get a mushroom out of the forest.
Probably. No, you have to be like a mycologist. Like you have to know what mushrooms are what, because they're obviously
some mushrooms will just kill you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
be very careful with mushrooms.
But they kill you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that took mushrooms for the first time, got in a van and crashed into like 10 cars.
Killed himself?
No, luckily no one got hurt. And the kid got taken to the hospital instead of shot at.
That's good.
Because he was
How old?
white.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But thank God. I mean, thank God that he was okay, but it was terrifying.
How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah, when this happened.
Oh, this was maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Not too long ago. Wow.
Yeah, it was really scary. And that was their first time trying mushrooms, which sounds like kind of a fun party drug, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what most kids think. It's a party drug. It's a rave drug or something like that. But it's not.
But it can affect your brain in a way that is completely unpredictable.
It's unpredictable. No, that's the thing about psychedelics. They're unpredictable. Like where a benzo, you're going to get like cacked out or black out. And then with opiates, you're going to get you're going to meet God or whatever they say. Marijuana, most of the time. That's another thing with cannabis actually, is that it's not predictable for a lot of people.
Oh.
That's because it's a psychedelic.
Because it's a psychedelic.
Yes.
So, and I bet some people like that unpredictability of that substance.
New every time.
Like
Yeah.
people that like risks or that like adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes you on a trip. People like to travel.
Yeah. You journey to places that you never would see here.
Wow.
Probably things that you see here and more.
Wow. Well, what would you have to say to kids that are interested in trying psychedelics? What would you tell them now?
Now I would say, don't do it just to get fucked up. That's the worst way to take a psychedelic, because that's when you don't know what you're getting into. Research it. Understand it. Understand the tool that you're about to use, because it's a tool. It's a very powerful tool which can show you your deepest and uncovered traumas. So just be very careful. Research. Test your drug, and make sure you have a trip sitter.
Yeah, trip sitter, we talked about that in another episode, but that's just someone who sits with you
and
that is sober.
That's sober, that is reassuring you that you are under the influence of a drug.
That reminds you, yeah. And they have to have 12 hours free to just sit and watch you. 6
hours for shrooms.
Oh, 6 hours for mushrooms. Okay. Well, that's a nice person that will be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What would you tell parents or other grown-ups to help kids to not get involved, or help them to be safer about?
Like I said in the last or 2 episodes ago, just nurture them. If you know they've already did it, nurture them, because it's not something you should shame them, because they're struggling. They're not doing it just because they want to. They're numbing out something. There's
some reason why they're wanting to get into another world.
Yes.
I am so glad that I had read Michael Pollan's book.
Oh, yeah. Because did you read that before you found out?
Yeah. A couple months before, and I'd heard him on the
What are the coincidences that you...
It was a nice alignment, wasn't it?
Yeah, because if you've never read that before, you probably would have been heated at me.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would have not reacted the same way at all. What was Michael Pollan's book called?
How to Change Your Mind.
How to Change Your Mind, right? And now he has another book out with mescaline and caffeine and opium.
Yeah.
This is called "This Is Your Mind on Plants."
Yes.
So Michael Pollan started off as a food writer, but I guess mushrooms are still a food. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend his books about this world, and it helped me understand that these drugs, when used correctly, are really not nearly as dangerous as some other drugs when used correctly.
Yeah.
And so it gave me a respect for what the drugs can do. And he talks about the history and how millennia, different cultures have used these substances. Yeah. And then LSD came along, and then it became illegal. And then when things become illegal, then everybody wants to get it, and then it's underground, and then it's laced with things. And
there's no research.
And research got totally cut off when the war on drugs happened. Yeah. So I highly recommend that book, and I credit that for me not completely. I flipped out a little, but not completely flipping out about psychedelics,
because you still would have had that stigma in your head that psychedelics are the Reagan thing, you know.
I thought they would kill you. Before I had listened to Michael Pollan's thing.
Really?
I thought just taking the drug would kill you.
What do you mean?
I thought psychedelics would kill you. Like, you know how like if you overdose on meth, it kills you. I thought
just taking it once? What's that? Oh, like
I thought taking psychedelics would kill you.
Like overdosing it.
Yeah, I thought yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. But you can't really overdose on psychedelics.
Yeah, you can still die from it. Yeah. Like you almost killed yourself, and you could, jump off a bridge. So it's dangerous, very dangerous.
And there are compounds that are psychedelics that can kill you, but LSD, DMT, mescaline won't kill you, I believe.
Yeah, they're yes. So I had that knowledge in my head before, a couple months before this all happened.
Yeah, wow. So you knew that it wouldn't kill me.
Yeah, that part. I knew that part wasn't going to kill you.
Yeah.
It still was extremely dangerous, but I wasn't like the enemy of psychedelics.
Yeah.
It helped me realize, and you know what? The people that can benefit from therapeutic psychedelics are people who are addicted to things.
Exactly.
And people who have immense trauma. That's who it's really good for.
Yes.
So I'm kind of straddling these two worlds right now.
It's because if I didn't dabble with psychedelics, you would probably be like, and you found out that I was a drug addict that was suffering with trauma, that would be an outlet. But I already touched the psychedelic. I opened Pandora's box before we even could get to that point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my fault for I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it's like I jumped the gun before we could think about using it therapeutically for me,
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say about psychedelics that we didn't get to?
You don't really know. I can't explain anything that happens under the influence of psychedelics, because it's the type of drug where I'm not saying you have to experience it, but you can't explain it in this reality.
You had to be there. Yeah, in a way, I feel a little bit disconnected from you in this regard, because I haven't ever taken a trip. That when I did the breathwork, that got me a little bit closer, but
it wasn't the genuine.
Not the same.
Well, it's because it could be. It could very much be, but literally just the idea of taking something to get there, isn't there for you. So
right.
That's the only. And you probably didn't get to a point where you like truly felt the immense oneness with everything.
No, I didn't get that far.
Okay, so yeah, but that's the only. I do feel disconnected still with a lot of people who haven't taken psychedelics, because they don't understand what we've gone through and how reality is for us now. Because my reality is not the same
It changes you, huh?
Yeah, it changes you. I don't know what I'm like compared to what I was.
You never know now, right? You can't go backwards. Yeah. So once you walk through these doors,
you can never go back. Never. No.
Well,
any drug, really. You can never go back.
Any drug, any new thing you try, you can't go back to never having tried that. You've opened the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm super glad that you didn't kill yourself in any of the times you
I'm so
almost
glad
did.
I
I'm
didn't
glad
either.
that kid didn't kill you, and I'm so glad that you survived all of your trips and are able to talk with people to help you integrate the trips into your current reality.
That's the thing with me. I don't know if I did survive any of my trips.
Oh, God.
Like, this could have been a parallel universe that I did die, and then this is heaven, or it could be hell, or I did survive, and this is just reality. I don't know where I'm at, though.
What do you tell yourself so you can just live in this reality?
Just like it's too much to handle. It's just too much to think about.
Like, just block that part out. Just like, okay, whatever, I'm here.
Yeah, you just have to live in the present. After I've been on hundreds of trips, so I know that reality. To a point that I can probably just close my eyes and go there.
It'd be like someone that has like a annual pass to Disneyland. They know
everything about Disney. They know like what flower is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But that's me. I broke my reality. But I'm lucky enough to have enough touch with reality that I can still get around this reality instead of going into complete psychosis. Because I know I'm not 100% here as I would have been 2 years ago. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're getting the support you need around it, and that I'm glad you're able to talk about it to our listeners.
And I want them to understand what's going through my head, and I don't want them to get an idea that like I'm crazy or something, but it's just that I want them to hear what it sounds like from this point of view of after someone's experienced it, what their mind is thinking and how they process things. So that's what my whole thing is to show them and give them the knowledge of what I know and what you know, and everything that you say to them, what is going to give them information about that. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm drained on everything psychedelics, really.
I think we got through it all. Our next episode next week is going to be about alcohol, and not Joey's favorite, but he's had experience with it, and most of the world has had experience with alcohol. Yeah. We're going to talk next week about how kids are using it and some things to watch out for.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Anne.
Stay safe.